So, when an avoidant man meets a self-empowered woman, today I can explain it better because I'm attachment and trauma informed. It's 5D mystic because I have downloads and clairs and woo-woo pseudoscience aid. Again, bringing human, spiritual, and spirituality elements together. So I take academia very seriously. I'm not a flat earther, which is why I'm okay with the sciences, not believing in mysticism because, they don't have the downloads. Plus, everything that I do experience, I can say thank you to my attachment and trauma courses that I can see how they can equate both our mystic plane and spirituality, by the way, is living a life of meaning beyond the solo self. And when you learn from Daniel Siegel about consciousness and change, about integration of the brain, which is our mammalian heritage as a human being, you're like, wow, Sadhguru, spirituality, they say the same thing as Daniel, who's teaching us how a human being's optimal inner and outer well-being, which I already knew. Thank you, Mother. So I have an inner child, my 0-1-year-old, attached, panicky. Yeah, I know how to regulate my nervous systems when I'm having a panic attack. I also know about my 3 to 7, and it's not a shame submissive. As I was trying to say, every challenge that I've ever been brought my way, I was already crying at my 4 years of age as any child, and I was not shamed, made to feel helpless. I was not fear-mongered, so I also have a great relationship with God and Jesus. I respect other communities, 3D, 4D, flat earthers, all that stuff, so I don't use the word God, Akash. And so your mental, emotion, physical mastery is really nice when people take their emotions seriously and they don't project it. So when I've been in any type of confrontations as a teenager, I already got all the experiences I needed with emotionally mature human beings. And so they're Pinocchios with ears and tails. And then we got Cuscos who turn into squirrels from The Emperor's New Groove. We have Ursulas from The Little Mermaid. The 4D mystics are all over that one. And then we have the spiritual bypassers who are also there. And they don't realize that they need to reparent their inner child so they can stop dating people that are in codependent. So there's a lot of people that I talk to. And right now, what I've noticed is there are people who are being a bit not a bit, they're all teenagers. So yeah, when you see teenagers online, you're like, we need to give a self-empowered woman's voice. So self-empowerment is not let me project my teenager attitude at you. No, that's actually far from it. It's I know how to handle my window. I have a window welcome. So I got lucky. I have a twin. We fought like cats and dogs, and that's where I learned it's okay to be unique, and I don't feel defective, not even a little bit. While others who have attachment wounds, like avoidant, they want to keep that feeling of defectiveness, suppress it with alcohol, drugs, sex, and what hangover movie makes things look cool. So yeah, there's also people who think that we should all follow trending topics. But see, I don't overestimate the human being brain. I am a human and I'm not a genius. And so I'm going to say I can explain it to like a 5-year-old if I have to. But I'm also going to say I've done it, and there's a lot of teenagers. How dare you take their side? That's the number 4 recovery from trauma charges. It's not the same as fragmentation. So when I meet a teenager, a Cusco, how dare you take his side or her side? I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying you're crapping on somebody who broke up with you. There's other fish in the sea. I'm not really sure why you're using all these words from psych educators. You're not using them correctly, and you're not even applying them to yourself. Did you get to the end of your journey, Elsa? So Elsa's journey, people don't realize they have a 3-year-old. Like I told my teenage friends, you have an ego self. I'm not the only one who's being selfish. And once it became clear that they didn't believe they had an ego self, I was like, well, you know what? I know you're selfish because you're using my time, but I'm selfish too because I'm using your time. So I'm going to think, shall I use your time? I don't know. I will decide this in my integrated brain. Okay, so an empowered woman doesn't project anything at anyone when I am presented with any man and when I have been. Because see, I learned throughout the years. Oh, and you grow more loving, not less. So when I see cynical women, I'm like, okay, you really want to go to good therapy because you're cynical due to ruptures. Yeah, sure. We all can have they hit me in the back of the head and, hey, tu, brute. So when that has happened, thank you, Jesus. I remember, as I did as a teenager, what are you going to choose, Maria? Do you believe in love? Yeah, I got it from my fucking body. So of course I believe in it. I don't actually have a storm with emotions. That's why I'm human. Hello, does anybody live here? And what I got as a teenager, whenever I'd give my lovely teenage girlfriends advice, you're so rational. You're so cold. I'm not cold and I'm not, well, yeah, I am rational, actually. I love using both sides of my brain. I'm so sorry. Is that something you don't want to do? Emotional maturity? or, as I put it, confidence. So I learned that all the teenagers lied to my face, no, behind my back, to my face, a little bit of everything. And even at the age of 25, I found myself in another situation. Now that made me really laugh. So see, self-empowerment means authority and discernment, but that's because I have restorative embodiment. My ding, 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 my bell knows if you're lying to me or not. I just don't care to figure it out. And I know that in time, I'm going to find out. Oh, and when you're a mystic, by the way, yeah, we know we can't read minds, but we know if somebody's in our energy sphere, and we know what's going on with our twin flames. That's a fun one. Telepathy, yes, we don't get lost. We also don't think we're anointed. That's because we have a whole divine, feminine, divine, masculine. So no man strings along, self-empowered woman. We will consciously decide as we notice, what are you doing? Let me think. I'm going to try and talk to you first, and then I'm going to figure it out on my own, because the minute I begin talking to you and you don't present to me what is called a conversation and you give me your clown attitude, because that's what it feels like. It's not disrespectful. I don't feel disrespected. My worth doesn't have anything to do with how you behave. I'm self-empowered. I can easily discern, and I have my own capacity, in fact, to be my own grown-up. Nobody's on a pedestal. That's only for the people who haven't reparented their inner child. I have a child right here. You can see it. So I'm not going to look at you with shame, blame, fault, or revenge. I'm not a maladaptive child behavior of myself. I'm not a person who has trauma charges. No, I have my prefrontal cortex on, curious, open, accepting, and loving, and I also don't like to waste my time. So I'm just going to be proactive. The minute that I notice you're walking like a drunk human being and I'm trying to talk to you and you're going to bring me some hangover attitude or mean girl, whatever it is, it doesn't even matter, because your deflection is not protection. I don't need protecting from some verbally, emotionally immature human being, which is why a self-empowered woman, we don't use the avoidant is selfish. They need a good therapist. If they don't want to go, then they don't want to go. The Pinocchios with ears and tails, I see them all over the place. They consistently roll their eyes at the attachment and trauma information I give them. And I'm like, well, I don't have hell in my body. And I guess you want to believe that demons still exist. And I'm a 5D mystic. So yeah, it is what it is. But frequency of discernment. It supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. And when I'm reminded of this, we're one big ball of energy. Thank you, God. You're my brother and sisters. And I'm not going to be in any way, shape, or form upset. Again, I have a twin. I got to fight like a little cat and dog. Always, not just sometimes. We still have our 3-year-old, and we have fun, because that's what siblings are. So I got lucky. I got a securely attached home, differentiated self, didn't rupture from my restorative embodiment, and I know how to always make my dreams into reality. Also this and that are true, which is beautiful. The enlightenment soul age group, it is accessible because my body isn't laundry, because I have a window of welcome for emotions. It's also called emotional mastery, emotional awareness, accountability. Let me not project my low self-esteem, indirect communication, passive aggressive insecurities to you, the maladaptive child, which is when you walk into supermarkets, some person randomly looks your way. She's a bitch because she looked at me. Thank you, Patrick Tiahan. I love your content. It helps me to share with people how they can go and get good therapy. But let's not tell them that they're cowardice, emotional laziness. I don't want to do personal development. I don't want to go to therapy. You don't have to go to therapy, but you might want to look at that attitude, because the person who's not actually able to be empowered is the ones. Yeah, so authority. Let's look at that one, shall we? The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So when we see people who are not leading, what comes to my mind are the 7 to 14 charming from Michael Stone's Evil Scale. But as we close on out, yes, nobody actually strings anyone along if they're self-empowered. We decide in here, how do I want to handle a person who doesn't have emotional availability? Oh, you know what? I don't have to, because they're not going to talk to my face. They're going to friend zone me, or they're going to, come in and out. And by the time I figure out they're walking a drunk line, I'm pretty sure I already know what's going to happen, because, I don't need a timeout. My timeout is right here, and I'm going to love, accept, and respect you just the way you are. And as a 5D mystic, I'm also going to know exactly what's going on. And, we're all generous of spirit, because we all are in-betweens in the life, the mystery of life. So, we take leaps of faith. That's why nobody strings our anything. And we do sing our song, which means I get to be myself and you get to be you. If you're a Pacha version, great. If you're a Cusco squirrel version, it's okay. I'm still going to love you. Tune in.